You may ask, why you need 50,000 tons of water? Well, the problem is neutrinos essentially pass through everything, but very rarely they interact with matter. Therefore, in order to observe neutrino events, we need large volume. Therefore, we use 50,000 tons of water.
You went underneath, almost 1 kilometers underneath the surface of Earth in that reactor, and then how long did it take to come up with the finding?
Well, in fact, Super Kamiokande was large enough. Therefore, in order to discover neutrino oscillations, it took only 2 years.
How large will be the Hyper Kamiokande you are talking about?
Hyper Kamiokande will be about 8 times larger in volume than Super Kamiokande.
When are you expecting, are you already into that mission, or are you expecting to do it pretty soon?
I think the experiment will start in 2028, so less than 3 years.
So you said there are a lot of collaboration in that one, 22 countries coming together for the Kamiokande. How about this Hyper Kamiokande?
22 or 3 countries in collaboration is the Hyper Kamiokande experiment. Even in Super Kamiokande, we have collaborators from 11 countries.
11 countries then. So you are doubling the number, and it's 8 times larger experiment. I would like to wish you all the best for your Hyper Kamiokande right here, right now, Professor Kajita, and hopefully the findings will land you another Nobel Prize, maybe.
Thank you, but I'm not deeply involved in Hyper Kamiokande.
All right, but you are the one who started this with the Super one, and then hopefully that will be carried forward by the new generation of research.
Yes, I hope so.
How important is sustained investment in basic research or scientific breakthroughs in developing countries like Nepal, Professor?
Well, it's an important point. Well, from our experience, I can say the sustained support by the government is really important to carry out basic research. Well, it's not easy to produce important results in basic science, but, well, in our case, government was very supportive, and we were able to produce important results over the past 30 years.
Any suggestion you have for developing countries like Nepal, where, as earlier I mentioned, we only talk about practical education, more day-to-day life applications, and why they should also spend in research and all this sort of stuff? Any suggestion you have, Professor?
Well, first of all, in order to develop science, academic freedom is important. So researchers can select whatever they would like to do. So that kind of freedom is very important, and sometimes their research cannot contribute to tomorrow's life. But if we think about the long history of humanity, the basic science, in some cases, contribute significantly to humanities. Therefore, the support to basic science is very important, even in Nepal.
Do you think Nobel-level discoveries or research or findings are possible from countries like Nepal or any other developing countries as well?
I think so. But, well, supporting basic science is really the key to get the fundamental research result.
You spoke about perseverance in your speech in the convocation day. How important is perseverance and patience?
Well, it's absolutely essential to be able to continue the research for a long time.
For example, once you did your research and you couldn't find the proton decaying thing, and you earned your PhD. Had you left it there, you would not have reached up to the findings that you have made there. But today, nowadays, youths or even people are very much result-oriented. They want immediate result. They want immediate success. What message you have for them?
I think it's important that researchers find important questions, and it may take long time to answer to these important questions. But if you think this question is important, you should persuade.
So keep working on, think about the long-term impact, do investment from the government side, and the young researchers do not look for immediate success.
That's right. And, well, I think nowadays young researchers have a very high pressure in order to get the next job. Therefore, it's very important that government support young researchers' permanent position.
How important is physics, Professor Kazita, to human existence itself, to humanity? Physics.
Well, it's a difficult question. Well, as humanity, we would like to understand the universe better, and we physicists can contribute to our better understanding of the universe. Maybe that's all we can do.
As I earlier asked, in that practical thing you said, our better understanding of our universe. We should understand our universe better. And maybe the researchers in future can take your learning and apply there. How should humanity balance this curiosity-driven science with immediate societal needs?
I think this is a very important question. And, well, certainly, as a physicist working on fundamental things, I really hope stronger support for fundamental research, but the balance between the fundamental research and the improvement of the tomorrow's life is always an issue. And I think we have to discuss as a community what will be the best way for the moment.
Information technology is evolving.
Yeah.
You spoke about AI earlier as well. Do you see it as a challenge, or will it complement human efficiency in the long term?
I think we have to, well, first of all, it is not possible to avoid the use of AI anymore. Then the question is, shall we simply use them without thinking anything?
Yeah.
That is the question. And I think, well, certainly we should use AI, but at the same time, we should not forget the importance of our thinking.
So it's not just the machines. We cannot avoid the use of technology and get the benefit out of it, but don't leave it alone, right?
Right.
Okay. Finally, we are reaching almost at the end of this conversation, Professor Kazita. What message would you like to share with young scientists in developing countries like Nepal?
Yeah. Okay, thank you for this question. Well, as I said, physics or science is a global effort. And if young people are interested in science, interested in understanding the nature, please do not hesitate to do research, to become scientists. Please do not hesitate to become scientists.
Final question, Professor Kazita. Say something about Nepal. This is your third time in Nepal. How do you like this country?
Oh, I like Nepal very much. Whenever I come to Nepal, I really excited. If I visit the old temple, I'm really inspired, and I find some similarities between Japanese culture and Nepal culture. So I'm always excited to come here.
Thank you so much, Professor, for your time, your precious time. We were really, really honored to have you in our studios of NTV World. Looking forward to your Hyper Kamyokonde experiment, which will be a carry forward from what you have left. Thank you so much, Professor Kazuta, for your time, for your thoughts. We are really honored to have you in the studios of NTV World. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It was indeed an honor for the entire team of NTV World to have world-renowned researcher, physician, the Nobel laureate 2015, Professor Takaaki Kazuta. In this episode of Declassified, we tried to explore the cosmos, the universe, the findings of Japanese Nobel Prize-winning physics professor Takaaki Kazuta. I know for many of us, the findings of the research that Professor Takaaki Kazuta made may not come to our day-to-day life, but the lesson from Professor is, to the scientists, to the researchers, do not hesitate to do research. Do not look for immediate fruits. And for the government, please do make sizable investment in research so that the future of humanity can be shaped in a better way and the world can be a better place for all. Thank you so much for your presence in this episode of Declassified. Until next time, from the entire crew, it's me, Devendra Subedi, saying bye-bye.
Dancing in the beats of Khaijari, these tireless young feet will not stop until the next morning. As every dawn brings along a dusk, and a hello has to end in a farewell note, it was time for us to say goodbye to Ramkot. The beat of the Madal and Khaijari constantly tried to hold us back even until we reached the faraway trails. It was hard to say goodbye when our heart wanted to stay, but then we had to move on.
कसैले पनि अब व्हीलचेयरमै चाहिँ बन्जी गर्नु भएको छैन
अहिले चाहिँ आई एम भेरी एक्साइटेड रमाइलो यस 2 1 बन्जी
डिफ्रेन्ट आइडियाहरु हुन्छ हाम्रो जस्तै अब खुट्टामा लाएर नर्मली जम्प गर्नु पनि उहाँले चाहिँ हामी बडीमा मात्र लाएर जम्प गराउँछौं
लेट्स गो
The location was the famous The Last Resort, offering adventurous thrill over Bhotekosi River in Sindhupalchok district of central Nepal. From the launch pad, a suspension bridge over the river, a free fall 160 meters down the gorge. This bridge had been the launch pad for the courageous and adventure seekers for years. But on this day, the jump was not just about adrenaline rush, but also about defiance, about breaking the barriers. Dilip, a fierce advocate for inclusive tourism, has spent years pushing boundaries, paragliding, ziplining, even bungee jumping without a chair.
म अपङ्गता भइसके पछाडी म आफुलाई कसरी रिफ्रेश बनाउने त म आफै चाहिँ कसरी ह्यापी हुन्छु भनेर आफैले आफैलाई बुझ्दाखेरि चाहिँ मैले घुम्दा ट्राभलहरू गर्दा एडभेन्चरहरू गर्दा अझ म बढी आफै खुसी भएको पाएँ। अनि त्यस पछाडि चाहिँ मलाई मैले प्याराग्लाइडिङहरू गरेँ। प्याराग्लाइडिङहरू गरिसके पछाडि बन्जी पनि गर्नुपर्छ भन्ने लाग्यो अनि मैले बन्जी गरेँ। बन्जी गरेपछि होइन अब यो बन्जीलाई पनि एकचोटि व्हिलचेयरमा पनि बन्जी गर्नुपर्छ हैन। नेपालमा म चाहिँ अपङ्गता भएका साथीहरूले चाहिँ एडभेन्चरकोमा चाहिँ अलिक पछाडि देखिने, उहाँहरू खासै त्यति धेरै एडभेन्चरहरू गर्नलाई त्यस्तो खेलहरू खेल्नलाई डराउने, यस्तो हुन्छ उस्तो हुन्छ भन्ने उहाँहरूको चाहिँ मेन्टालिटी पनि थियो र त्यो मेन्टालिटीलाई पनि चिर्नुपर्छ मैले। यो सकिन्छ, हामीले पनि खेल्न सक्छौँ, गर्न सक्छौँ र एउटा चाहिँ समावेशी पर्यटनलाई पनि यो एउटा वकालत पनि हुन्छ। नेपाल सरकार लगायत सम्बन्धित निकायलाई यो वकालतको पनि एडभोकेसी पनि गर्न सकिन्छ भन्ने उद्देश्य राखेर मैले चाहिँ बन्जी गरेको।
Sisir, an agricultural entrepreneur living with spinal paralysis, has turned his challenges into advocacy.
म अनेस्टली भन्नुपर्दा यो चाहिँ पुरै अनप्लान्ड नै हो हैन। जति पनि मेरो लाइफमा म जति पनि एडभेन्चर अथवा गर्छु हैन, त्यति धेरै प्लान गरेर चाहिँ गर्दिम भनेपछि गर्दिम भन्ने टाइपले चाहिँ यसको लागि चाहिँ म विशेष धन्यवाद हाम्रो दिलीप सरलाई म दिन चाहन्छु है। उहाँले मलाई थाहा नै नदिकन ल आज जाम भनेर भन्नुभयो। मैले भोलि हामी बन्जी जम्प गर्दैछौँ भनेर हिजो दोलालघाट आइपुगेपछि, हामी काठमाडौँबाट हिँडेको मान्छे दोलालघाट आइपुगेपछि थाहा पाएको। सो अब गरौँ न त, आइसक्यो भनेर चाहिँ हैन एउटा अनुभव पनि हुन्छ लाइफमा। हामी जस्तो अपाङ्गता भएको व्यक्तिले पनि गर्न सकिन्छ है भन्ने टाइपले हैन। अनि त्यहाँबाट अरूलाई मोटिभेट गर्नलाई साथसाथै अब आफ्नो पनि एउटा रिफ्रेसमेन्टको लागि चाहिँ अब आज हामी बन्जी जम्प गर्न जाँदैछौँ।
Together, the goal was clear: to inspire thousands and redefine what people with disabilities can achieve. A wheelchair bungee jump was no ordinary feat. It demanded innovation, precision, and absolute commitment. The team designed a secure rigging system, checked every bolt and knot, ensuring the wheelchairs and harnesses could withstand the extreme forces.
सेटअप अब खासै त्यस्तो डिफ्रेन्ट त होइन। उहाँहरूको अब स्पेसल अलिकति समस्या भएर त्यो अनुसारको सेफ तरिकाले गर्ने अर्को डिफ्रेन्ट आइडियाहरू हुन्छ हाम्रो। जस्तै अब खुट्टामा लगाएर नर्मली जम्प गर्नुपर्ने, उहाँहरूले चाहिँ हामी बडीमा मात्रै लगाएर जम्प गराउँछौँ। सो खुट्टामा चाहिँ केही पनि प्रेसर पर्दैन, ढाडमा पनि कम प्रेसर पर्छ। सो त्यसरी गर्दा चाहिँ उहाँलाई एकदम कम्फर्टेबल हुन्छ। अनि प्लस अब उहाँले अब तल गएर तान्नुपर्ने हुक गर्नुपर्ने कुराहरू हुन्छ। सकेसम्म उहाँहरूले ट्राई गर्नु भएन भने हामी एकजना रेस्क्यु स्ट्यान्ड बाई हुन्छ। अनि त्यसको लागि चाहिँ हामी अलिक बढी प्रिपेयर गरेर गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ। अब सेफ्टीको हिसाबले अलिकति डिफ्रेन्ट तरिका चाहिँ अपनाउनु पर्यो हामीले।
This was not a stunt. It was proof that adventure can be made accessible.
34औं अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय अपङ्गता दिवस हो। सो यो अपङ्गता दिवसकै दिनमा चाहिँ के एउटा चाहिँ एडभेन्चर गरौँ हैन। अब कसैले पनि अब व्हिलचेयरमै चाहिँ बन्जी गर्नुभएको छैन, त्यसको लागि पनि एउटा चाहिँ पहिलोचोटि गरिदिएर अरू साथीहरूलाई पनि एउटा चाहिँ इन्करेज गरौँ भन्ने चाहना हो खास।
At the edge of the platform, silence fell. Dilip rolled forward first. The count began.
Happy International Disability Day, all of you.
A symbol of confinement transformed into a vessel of freedom, probably the first ever wheelchair bungee jump in Nepal.
प्रोम्याक्स बन्जी खासै अहिले चाहिँ पुरा म नर्मल चाहिँ एकदम चिलमा छु हैन। अब यहाँ हामफाल्दाखेरि चाहिँ कस्तो हुन्छ, म हामफालिसकेपछि अनुभव सुनाउँछु। अहिले चाहिँ आई एम भेरी एक्साइटेड। आई एम गोइङ टु डु समथिङ फर माइसेल्फ हैन। आई एम गोइङ टु डु माई फर्स्ट बन्जी अफ माई लाइफ। So I'm very excited.
Then came Sisir's turn. With equal determination, he embraced His leap cemented the moment, not a solo feat, but a shared victory.
Yes. उहाँले आर यु रेडी भन्नुभयो मैले ठिक छ म रेडी भने मैले आँखा चिम्म गरिदिएँ अनि त्यसपछि ठ्याक्कै उहाँले 1 2 3 जम्प भन्नुभयो उहाँले पुस गरिदिनु भयो मलाई म पुस गरेको आँखा चिम्मको चिम्म तल पुगेपछि ठ्याक्क त्यो डोरीले तान्छ नि तानेर माथि आएपछि त्यो समय चाहिँ मैले यस्तो फिल गरेँ कि म बाँचेँ हैन मसँग अब चाहिँ सबै चिजहरू मसँग फेरि पनि छ र मलाई चाहिँ एकदमै आनन्द त्यो टाइमको त्यो 2 सेकेन्ड 3 सेकेन्डको एउटा चाहिँ ह्याप्पिनेस एउटा त्यो रिफ्रेस एउटा त्यो फिलले चाहिँ एकदमै ह्याप्पी दियो क्या मलाई इनर्जी भित्रदेखि मसँग भइरहेको सिद्धिरहेको एउटा चाहिँ इनर्जीलाई ठ्याक्क दियो त्यो झर्दाखेरिको चाहिँ मेरो माइन्ड पुरै रिसेट भइदियो जस्तो भयो क्या केही पनि छैन म एकदमै एकदम निल मसँग केही पनि छैन रित्तियो सकियो मैले सबै चिज छोडिदिएर म झरिसकेको थिएँ हाम फालिसकेको थिएँ तर पुगेर ठ्याक्क तानेर ल्याउँदाखेरि चाहिँ त्यो एउटा मुभमेन्ट चाहिँ मेरो लाइफको चाहिँ एकदम इन्जोयफुल मुभमेन्ट हो जसले चाहिँ मलाई चाहिँ आजको दिनसम्म अझ धेरै उत्प्रेरणाहरू जगाएको एउटा मुभमेन्ट हो त्यो मुभमेन्ट चाहिँ मेरो लागि एकदम मेमोरियल पनि छ
Dilip and Sisir's jump was more than a thrill. It was a loud scream demanding change, a call for accessible tourism.
एक्सेसिबिलिटीकै कुराहरू हुन्छ कि हजुरको जस्तो अब मैले पोखरामा प्याराग्लाइडिङ गर्दाखेरि कायाकिङ गर्दाखेरि हैन अप्पर मुस्ताङ चाहिँ हजुरको चाहिँ त्यो अफ रोड गाडीमै जाँदाखेरिको कुराहरूमा चाहिँ अलिकति एक्सेसिबल अलिकति हामीलाई चाहिँ पहुँचयुक्त चाहिँ ठाउँहरू भएदेखि अलिकति सजिलो हुन्थ्यो भनौँ न अब यो झोलुङ्गे पुलहरूबाट गरिन्छ हैन त्यहाँ चाहिँ हल्का र्याम्प के जस्तो व्हिलचेयरकै लागि पनि एउटा स्ट्र्याप राख्दाखेरि त काठको एउटा भनौँ न त्यो फ्लोरिङ जस्तै टाइपले गरिदियो भने त हेल्प गर्ने असिस्ट गर्नेलाई पनि सजिलो हुने अनि हामीलाई पनि सजिलो हुने चाहिँ हुन्छ
Myanmar kicked off its 2025 multi-party democratic general election with the first phase held today. The general election is scheduled to be held in 3 phases, with the second phase set for January 11, 2026, followed by the third phase on January 25. The country is voting as major political parties are dissolved, with many of their leaders jailed, and as much as half the country not expected to vote because of an ongoing civil war. The military government is holding a phased ballot nearly 5 years after it seized power in a coup, which sparked widespread opposition and spiraled into a civil war. Observers say the Myanmar's government, with China's support, is seeking to legitimize and entrench its power as it seeks a way out of the devastating stalemate. More than 200 people have been charged for disrupting or opposing the polls under a new law which carries severe punishments, including the death penalty. After the polling began, there were reports of explosions and airstrikes across multiple regions in the country. Further reports of casualties have emerged following other explosions. The Myanmar's government has rejected criticism of the polls, maintaining that it aims to return the country to a multi-party democratic system. After casting his vote at a highly fortified polling station in the capital, Junta Chief Min Aung Hlaing said the election would be free and fair. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky will meet Donald Trump in Florida later today for the latest round of talks aimed at ending nearly 4 years of war with Russia. The pair will discuss an updated version of a U.S. brokered peace plan, which Moscow is aid to support, as well as separate proposals for U.S. security guarantees. Their meeting at the U.S. President's Mar-a-Lago home follows intense Russian bombardment of Kiev over the weekend, which Zelensky said is evidence that Moscow does not want peace. At the meeting in Florida, Zelensky is expected to raise security guarantees and territorial concessions for Ukraine, both of which are issues that Russia has previously been unwilling to compromise on. They will also discuss the new 20-point peace plan, a revised version of an earlier 28-point plan drafted by U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, which was widely seen as being too favorable to Russia. Control of Ukraine's eastern Donbass has been a major sticking point so far, but Zelensky has now said a free economic zone could be an option. Moscow currently controls about 75% of the Donetsk region and some 99% of the neighboring Luhansk. The regions are collectively known as Donbass. The Kremlin has not commented on Zelensky's offer to withdraw troops from the eastern Donbass region if Russia pulls back too. But on Saturday, Russian President Vladimir Putin said Ukraine was in no hurry to resolve this conflict peacefully. Putin added that if Kiev did not want to resolve the conflict peacefully, Russia could accomplish its objectives militarily. Sao Paulo of Brazil, the most populous city in Latin America, broke the 2025 heat record this Friday for the second day in a row, reaching a high of 36.2 degrees Celsius amid a heat wave. Temperatures reached 35.9 degrees Celsius on Thursday, a Christmas day, according to data from the National Meteorological Authority. On Friday, it reached 36.2 degrees Celsius, which is the highest for a month of December since 1961 in the state capital. The unprecedented heat has put pressure on local infrastructure, with energy consumption soaring as residents rely heavily on air conditioning and cooling systems. Authorities have advised residents to limit outdoor activities during peak hours and stay hydrated as health services reported a rise in health-related complaints. The city government said it is monitoring vulnerable populations, including the elderly and outdoor workers, and has activated plans to manage potential power outages. Meteorologists warn that this record-breaking December heat reflects broader climate trends in the region, with extreme temperatures becoming increasingly frequent and intense. Ocean Viking humanitarian vessel has conducted sea rescue drills ahead of a new mission to assist migrant boats in distress in the central Mediterranean, marking the first deployment by the NGO SOS Mediterranean since it was targeted by the Libyan Coast Guard in August. The drills, carried out with crew members and rescue teams on board, focused on emergency response procedures, coordination during rescues, and medical care for survivors recovered at sea. The preparations come amid renewed concerns over migrant safety on one of the world's deadliest migration routes. In August, SOS Mediterranean suspended operations after the Ocean Viking was confronted by the Libyan Coast Guard during a rescue attempt, an incident the NGO said endangered both migrants and humanitarian workers. The group has repeatedly accused Libyan authorities of aggressive tactics and of intercepting migrant boats to return people to Libya, where the United Nations says migrants face detention, abuse, and exploitation. The central Mediterranean route linking North Africa to southern Europe remains the deadliest migration corridor globally. According to international agencies, thousands of people have died or gone missing there in recent years, many aboard overcrowded and unseaworthy boats. Humanitarian rescue groups have faced mounting pressure, including port restrictions, legal challenges, and accusations of encouraging irregular migration, claims they strongly deny. Scores of residents flocked to a cramped shop in Hong Kong's Old District to bid farewell to the city's king of umbrellas, who is retiring after spending decades repairing umbrellas at his family business. Current proprietor Yao Yuwai, aged 73, announced earlier this month that his 183-year-old family business, the Shan Na Xing Umbrella Store, would close its doors at year's end. The family-run shop has been passed down through 5 generations, but shifting consumer habits towards online shopping, coupled with Yao's advancing young age and the lack of a successor have made it impossible to continue. Yao said business had steadily declined as cheaper mass-produced umbrellas became widely available and consumers grew accustomed to buying replacements instead of seeking repairs. While the closure marks the end of Hong Kong's oldest umbrella business, Yao said he is grateful for the overwhelming support. The shop's closure adds to growing concerns about the survival of traditional trades in Hong Kong as rapid urban change and modern retail trends continue to reshape the city's historic neighborhoods. Intense and continuous activity is underway at the northeastern crater of Etna Mountain in Italy with the emission of modest quantities of volcanic ash. Officials say the activity is being closely monitored, though no immediate threat to nearby communities has been reported so far. Volcanic tremors remain at elevated levels consistent with ongoing eruptive activity at the summit craters. Aviation alerts were issued as a precaution due to ash emissions, while residents and tourists have been advised to follow official guidance and avoid restricted areas around the volcano. People attended the opening of the Museum of Bad Gifts in Toronto, where local artists and community members displayed notoriously bad gifts they have received over the years. Some exhibits are original artworks created from unwanted gifts that people have donated. The exhibition, now in its second year as a Christmas season event, will be open to the public until the first week of January. Selected works are for sale with proceeds donated to a local food bank. Organizers say the museum aims to spark humor and reflection around consumer culture and gift-giving habits during the holiday season. Visitors are encouraged to share the stories behind the ill-fated gifts, turning personal disappointments into collective entertainment. The quirky exhibition has drawn growing crowds, blending satire, art, and charity at the heart of Toronto's festive calendar. The show Winged Steeds became one of the most eagerly awaited New Year gifts for residents of Ashgabat. For people of Turkmenistan, the circus is not only about gymnasts, clowns, and trained animals, but also a unique opportunity to see the legendary Akalteki horses performing breathtaking acts together with skilled treads. For Turkmens, the horse is a symbol of pride in their millennia-old history, while the confident, swift stride of the steed is often likened to the pace of the nation's progress in the modern era. The show opened with an aerial performance by a renowned gymnast whose courage and grace beneath the circus dome earned well-deserved ovations. The festive program also featured animal acts from different parts of the world. Adding special color to the show was the participation of Indian monkeys, whose performance clearly showcased the skill of working with animals from various regions. An act with German poodles was presented by the representatives of a circus dynasty, a mother and a daughter duo, further enriching the thematic diversity of the performance. The artistry of aerial gymnasts, tightrope walkers, and jugglers filled the show with drive and aesthetic beauty. Warmth and sincere smiles were brought by the clowns, who masterfully united the audience, engaging both children and adults in their playful, interactive routines. Program Winged Steeds will be presented to the residents and guests of the capital throughout the winter holidays, with performances running until January the 11th. 5,000-year-old caves in Turkey's Hasankeyf district have been opened to tourism after extensive restoration and landscaping efforts. Located on the transition route from Upper Mesopotamia to Anatolia, Hasankeyf is known for its thousands of years of history and rich cultural heritage. To increase the region's tourism potential and make its cultural assets more visible, cleaning and landscaping works were carried out inside and around the caves. Walking paths and stairways were improved, while interior arrangements were designed to reflect the lifestyle of past civilizations. The project aims to preserve Hasankeyf's historical character while transforming the district into a more attractive and accessible tourism destination of Turkey. Lancang Lahu Autonomous County of southwest China's Yunnan province has become a magnet for visitors. Sweeping sheets of cloud blend seamlessly with hillsides of blooming cherry trees. In mornings, the rising sun bathes the mountains in soft light, turning drifting clouds into a cascading spectacle. As the clouds lift, winter cherry blossoms in delicate shades of pink reveal themselves in full bloom. Scattered through tea gardens and lining mountain roads, clusters of flowers brighten the landscape. In addition to the breathtaking scenery, visitors to the Jingmai mountain can also explore ancient villages, enjoy local foods, and experience the region's rich ethnic minority cultures up close. The Jingmai mountain, inscribed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2023 for its wall tea forest and cultural landscape, was developed over 1,000 years ago by local Bulang and Dai people following practices that began in the 10th century.
Every dawn begins with a promise: light will return. For the people of Nepal, the sun is not just a star in the sky. It is an eternal witness to labor, to love, to loss, and to life itself. The scriptures call it Aditya, the giver of vitality, the sustainer of truth. Farmers bow to it before planting their seeds. Mothers pray to it for the well-being of their children. To the people of Nepal, the sun is not a distant deity. It is divinity made visible, and that reverence is best manifested in Chhat. the festival where dwellers of the plains gather to thank both the rising and the setting sun.
This Chhath festival is a Hindu Vedic festival which is not only celebrated in India and Nepal these days. It has transcended to all the frontiers. Previously, it used to be celebrated in India and Nepal only. But these days, the devotees who belong to Hinduism or from Islamic community, even they are celebrating abroad. Since this festival is the celebration of the nature and it promotes organic way of life, it promotes pollution-free atmosphere and environment. This festival has reached to all the walks of life because it promotes equality. As you could see that the devotees at the same pond, no matter whichever caste or class they belong, they are considered to be equal.
The roots of this festival lie deep in the ancient plains of Mithila, a cultural landscape shared by Nepal and India, where faith, soil, and sunlight have long shaped life itself. From its earliest mention in the Vedas to its celebration today, Chhath has journeyed through centuries and civilizations changing form, yet never losing its spirit of purity, discipline, and gratitude.
It's a 5-day festival. The first day is called Marua Mas Barnai. Barnai means to refrain from. In that day, the devotees take a pledge to refrain from consuming non-vegetarian food and garlic and onion-made food items. And the second day is called Nahai Khai. In that second day, the devotees first take bath, then offer prayers to the sun god, and then consume pure food. The third day is called Kharna. And in that day, the devotees take fast till evening and break the fast with the prasada of kheer and banana. On the fourth day, we could see the Sandhya Argya, that is evening prayers. All the prasada which is offered to the sun god, each and every prasada is offered to the sun god by standing in the waters. And the same thing is repeated in the fifth day, that is called Usa Argya. Usa means the prayer for the rising sun.
The festival unfolds over 5 days, each with distinct rituals and a shared focus on devotion. Families prepare offerings, maintain sacred spaces, and observe fasts while communities gather along water bodies, including river banks and ponds, to offer prayers to the rising and the setting sun. Women play a central role in organizing the rituals and guiding younger generations, while men and children assist in preparations. The collective participation reinforces family bonds and community cohesion, bridging generations in a shared cultural practice.
The women of our part of the world, they do rigorous fasting for the long life of their husband and children. They are at the central role in this festival. छठमा महिलाले मात्रै पूजा गर्ने होइन, पुरुषलाई पनि छठमा जो सुकैले पनि छठमा पूजा गर्न पाउनुहुन्छ. यहाँ कुनै जेन्डरको बायस छैन. तर हाम्रो वुमेन इम्पावरमेन्टलाई कहाँसम्म यसले रोल प्ले गर्दो रहेछ, सस्टेनेबल डेभलपमेन्ट गोल्समै हेर्ने हो भने जेन्डर इक्वालिटी कुरा गर्छ, वुमेन इम्पावरमेन्टको कुरा गर्छ. देयर इज नो युज अफ संस्कृत मन्त्र, देयर इज नो रोल अफ पण्डित, there is no any holy text which will prescribe the modality of the Chhath celebration.
The festival emphasizes the cleanliness of rivers, ponds, and the banks, which are central to the rituals. These practices reflect an understanding that devotion is inseparable from responsibility towards nature. The festival demonstrates how religious observances can reinforce sustainable interaction with natural resources, promote environmental stewardship, and instill awareness about protecting water, soil, and the surrounding environment.
The people from hill and try to connect the people from each and every community member. So this festival could emerge as a festival of social cohesion, and beyond this we could unite our community in a bond of equality and in a bond of community spirit.
From Mithila to Kathmandu and beyond, Chhath bridges regions and generations. Its observance in urban centers and abroad shows how cultural traditions can adapt while maintaining the festival's essence. The rituals connect younger generations with their heritage and ensure the continuity of cultural knowledge. The festival continues to adapt to modern contexts while maintaining its historical roots, ensuring that the traditions and responsibilities it embodies remain relevant for future generations.
The Holy Scriptures also talks about Chhath festival. Lord Sita had performed Chhath festival after Lord Rama came from Banvasa, and once Ram Rajya was established, Goddess Sita had performed Chhath for the well-being of Ram Rajya, for the well-being of the Ayodhya people. It's in Ramayana, Sita had performed Chhath, and in Mahabharata we could see that Kunti and Pandavas, they had also performed Chhath.
Practices become culture, good practices become religion, and Chhath reflects a tradition that transcends boundaries, uniting communities across the Mithila region. In the flatlands, where summer temperatures often exceed 40 degrees Celsius, the sun becomes both sustainer and foe. Yet, despite the intense heat, devotees endure fasting, prepare offerings, and perform rituals with unwavering discipline and reverence. In facing the sun in this way, they demonstrate resilience, faith, and a profound connection to nature, showing that devotion can persist even under the harshest conditions.
Dai Lake in Karnali province is a geographically remote district, yet rich with untapped potential for tourism. Stepping into Dai Lake, celebrated as a treasure trove of Khas art, culture and heritage, brings a unique sense of joy. Journey begins amid its natural beauty, leading us toward Mahabu Rural Municipality. As we leave the mid-hill highway, the terrain becomes challenging, with hilly, muddy roads demanding patience and skill. Long lines of vehicles crawl carefully along the cliffs, reflecting both the difficulty of the route and the enduring devotion of Mahabu Dham. Many travelers choose to continue on foot, advancing step by step toward their destination. Passing through Channa, Dasarathi, Okharbans, Bhavsaini, Noli and Unipata, pilgrims ascend the slopes toward Lisne before finally reaching Mahabu Patan. Pilgrims from Dai Lake and nearby districts often arrive late at night, having begun their journey the previous day. The path to Mahabu Dham is thrilling, adventurous and breathtaking, made even more dramatic by the steady rain, drifting fog and steep inclines. Yet the journey itself feels uniquely rewarding. Mahabu Lake or Mahabu Dham, located within Mahabu Rural Municipality, is a remarkable place of natural beauty, religious significance and cultural heritage. Situated at an altitude of 4,200 meters, the area is adorned with emerald lakes, grazing flocks of sheep and goats, and a sky that dances with Himalayan mist. Every year, during Janai Purnima, a grand fair is held here, drawing thousands of devotees from across the region. Mahabu Dham's spiritual importance is deeply rooted in the ancient worship of Lord Shiva, revered here as the origin site. From Mahabu Lake, visitors can enjoy magnificent views of Api and Sai Palhimal, and on clear days, even the plains of Bardia. Given its religious importance and natural splendor, Mahabu Dham holds immense potential as a religious tourism destination. Improving the rough, narrow access roads is essential for supporting this growth. Mahabu Dham is more than a pilgrimage site. It is a confluence of culture, history, faith, and nature. To truly appreciate its significance, one must visit Mahabu Lake at least once, immerse oneself in its natural beauty, and experience the serene environment that leaves a lasting impression.
Music, dance, food, Art and devotion are the lifeblood of Newar culture, an ancient civilization rooted in the Kathmandu Valley of Nepal. With lively festivals nearly every fortnight, the Newars celebrate life through a rich tapestry of traditions known as Jatra, deeply intertwined with the rhythms of agriculture. This is a culture where every celebration is a living expression of heritage, community, and spiritual joy. Welcome to the ancient heart of the Kathmandu Valley, Chaba Hill. Here lies a sacred nexus of faith and tradition, Sri Chandravinayak Temple.
The wishes of the devotees, for instance, moving abroad, or the most important is to get rid of want and allergies. And if we lose something, then we offer a kisli, an ancient small bowl made of clay in which we put rice and a supari with a coin. It is believed we retrieve the lost thing and wounds or allergies.
This location is not just a place of worship, it is the stage for one of the region's most vibrant annual celebrations, Sri Chandravinayak and Sri Bhairavnath Jatra.
The beginning of the Jatra is always according to the Newari date, what we call Sakimana Puni. Puni means full moon. It starts from the time of Kartik Purnima, and for this we have to take the auspicious time for the Jatra. There is a place called Amalkot Kacheri. We go there about a week in advance to get the auspicious time. After they give us the auspicious time, then we start the management things.
This festival holds a significance at par with our grandest celebrations like Dasai and Tihar for the local residents of Chaba Hill. It's a time when the community unites and the entire area bursts into life.
Old-aged people are the contributors for the contribution of this Jatra festival. In early days, it was done during days, and the deities were kept in a basket from the sources. Now, we use chario because to local resident people like us, this festival is like Dasai and Tihar. Those are the greatest festival for Nepalis. Another reason is that a lot of people worship Lord Ganesh. The importance of the four Lord Ganesh is advertised. That is why there are lots of devotees visiting the temple. More than importance, it is the preservation of our culture and heritage that we are trying to do best.
The Jatra centers around two powerful deities, Lord Ganesh, known here as Chandravinayak, and the fierce protector Bhairavnath.
We also consider Chandra Vinayak Bhagwan as the first deity, right? The god who received blessings from Shiva Parvati or the parents. The first one who remember and worship when we humans worship is Sri Ganesh Bhagwan. All the Hindu Sanatan Dharma followers all over the world consider Ganesh Bhagwan as the first deity. Similarly, Chandra Vinayak, the name is different, but their feeling and over devotion towards them is the same. Similarly, Bhairavnath, who is located here in Chabel, Bhairavnath is considered to be a deity who originated here naturally even before Ganesh Bhagwan. Now we consider Bhairav as a form of Shiva, as a part of Shiva, right? In this way, we consider Chandra Vinayak Bhagwan and Bhairavnath as the center of our faith. Another interesting aspect is this is also in the form of a legend. Our Chandra Vinayak Bhagwan loves outsiders more than us locals. The reason for that is maybe because they come from so far away with so much hardship. God gives them more blessing. That's how we take it.
Historically, the architecture itself whispers tales of antiquity. The temple complex standing near the ancient Charumati Stupa showcases relics dating back to the literary period, as far back as the 5th to 6th centuries. While the main idol of Sri Chandra Vinayak has seen renovations over centuries, notably during the Malla era, the site's spiritual lineage is deep-rooted.
हाम्रो यो गणेशलाई चाहिँ चन्द्र विनायक 4 गणेश मध्ये एक गणेश भगवान हो। एक गणेश जस्तै चन्द्र विनायक, सूर्य विनायक, जल विनायक, अशोक विनायक।
Sri Chandra Vinayak is one of the most important Lord in the 4 Vinayak, Surya Vinayak, Chandra Vinayak, Jal Vinayak and Ashok Vinayak. This jatra was initiated during the Lichavi period as Ganesh Kumari and Lord Bhairav were way before this time frame is known. It is believed that Lord Bhairav is the protector and of the local residents of Sabel, and the prasad is said to cure diarrhea and cholera.
The unique feature of this celebration is the dual focus. While the pillar of Bhairavnath was historically renowned, the divine presence of Lord Ganesh is equally honored. The festival marks the time when the forces unite, celebrated through grand processions and rituals that honor the valley's layered history, blending Hindu and ancient Buddhist iconography.
Now we are busy with jobs and businesses. But the previous generation were all in agriculture, and this time, which falls in Kartik and Mangsir, is the time when it gets cold, or the time to harvest the crops, and the time to rest after being tired from harvesting the crop. So, on the first day of the Jatra, we offer the new crop, the various crops that have been harvested, such as wheat, soybeans, rice, lava, all these as halimali prasad to Ganesh Bhagwan. After offering that to God, then all our families relax, thinking that our agricultural work is done and we have a new feast. Thank the gods and have a palanquin procession and a feast. This is how we are moving forward in its main religious, social, all forms.
The main celebration commences on the full moon day of Hindu month Kartik, which typically falls in November.
The first day of the full moon of Kartik, we lit a sacred fire known as Dhuni. Second day is Ganesh Jatra here in the temple. On the third day, we take the chariot to Chuche Party and end the 4 days ceremony with Sindur Jatra.
The day begins with solemnity as a great sacred fire. The Dhuni is lit for the well-being of all people, a ritual known for devotees gathering together to warm themselves, believing it grants health benefits and religious merits. The climax is the Rath Yatra, the chariot procession. The chariots of Bhairavnath are elaborately decorated, and the image of Sri Chandra Vinayak is also brought out for worship.
Playful chariot battle is done as Lord Ganesh is worshipped at first, and the chariot of Lord Bhairav rounds up the chariot of Sri Chandra Vinayak 3 times, believing this long ceremonial ritual. It is also believed that when the chariot strikes that place is protected from the divine. Previously, chariots were stopped in front of every house, but nowadays it is only stopped in most important places of Chabel due to urbanization.
We see traditional mock rituals, like a playful struggle where Ganesh attempts to enter the main sanctum depicting ancient mythology played out in the streets. The deities are later bathed in the ancient Gangahiti, a water source just north of the temple, a ritual that can last late into the night. The atmosphere is one of joyous devotion and playful energy.
The head priest is selected from Pasupati Development Trust, who are the employees themselves. They are given a specific special area for the formal event. Previously, they used come in barefoot, but now we have solved their problem with this new space. They use the traditional tantric ritual to worship the deities. After the tantric rituals done by the priests, the deities get a new form. It can be seen with the change of the ornaments, same like the day as Lord Ganesh is worshipped, especially on Tuesday. His form is more strong and divine, and the ornaments used in the jatras are special, not the one being used every day. Lord Ganesh is worshipped by the Sakya priests with their own rituals, and the Lord Bhairav is worshipped by the Vajracharya priests according to their own rites and rituals. Now, not many Sakya and Vajracharya priests are here in Nepal to forward this ancient ceremonial festival.
More than just religious rites, the Jatra is a powerful social binder. It is the time when relatives are invited as honored guests, transforming Chabel into a hub of reunion and festivity. The homes themselves become part of the decoration illuminated to celebrate the occasion.
We are teaching our kids the same what we did learn from our earlier generation, and we have already started to train them. Now, our daughter and sons do not attend college just to take part in this heavenly festival. They are interested in their culture and promoting it with full confidence. That's why we are trying to teach them everything, what we learn to keep our tradition and culture alive. Every year a new face is introduced so that they participate with full confidence and happiness with equality. Whoever is devoted and interested, they are welcomed and given priority here.
Devotees strongly believe that participating in this Jatra guarantees the same spiritual blessings as worshipping the deities throughout the entire year. Consequently, the number of culture enthusiasts joins the thousands of pilgrims each year.
In this crowd, we are moving forward in our race of life. Mostly people go abroad for studies, earn money, but there are many friends like us who feel that our identity, the heritage of our country, the greatest assets of our country is our culture, which our ancestors have been handing over to us. This is our identity. If this identity is not preserved, then in the future neither our existence nor the existence of the nation of Nepal will remain. We are working hard, we are suffering, but we are devoted. God is helping us. That's why we don't have to go abroad. God is watching over us. We always have one thing, that our devotion to God is always awakened, and the work we do is also a devotion to God. And the main thing we do is for the good of all our Nepalese residents, for the good of the country. That's why we always work hard.
To manage this growing, vibrant event, the locals have set up a coordination committee to ensure everything runs smoothly and joyfully.
Now this management, which we have formed as Sri Chandra Vinayak and Bhairabnath Jatra Coordination Committee. Actually, there are separate Guthi, Palas and religious Guthi that have been established earlier to conduct the Jatra. But this issue, gradually, as the youth migrate and a generation gets older, it's become difficult to operate. Not only for the Guthi Palas. Then, to play a coordinating role, we formed this committee. The coordination committee, it includes all the Ganesh Palas, Bhairav Palas and the Guthi that carries Chhatra. There is a Guthi called Kha Guthi. There are many such Guthi. We have included all of them and formed a working committee and started organizing this program in this way. It has been more than 10 years now.
After the coordination committee was established, we have upgraded with the process and the rituals of Jatra. After this Jatra ends, the Guyeswari Jatra is commenced with the Muktinath Baja Khala. It's been 6 years as we are getting funded by the Pasupati Development Trust.
This historic and ancient cultural heritage of Chaba Hill stands as a vital part of Nepal's identity. Preserving and revitalizing this tradition requires a collaborative commitment from the nation as a whole and from every Nepali, both at home and abroad.
It's been 6 years as we are getting funded by the Pasupati Development Trust, increasing the fund by 10% every year. As I have known, it is 70 to 80,000 rupees. From the municipality office, we are also funded 10 lakh Nepalese rupees. But as the governmental process takes time and the taxes are deducted, we get 8 lakh rupees in total for the festival. So we all residents of Chabel gather together and collect fund if the scarcity occurs, but we do not stop the festival.
Active participation and support are essential to safeguard and promote these cultural celebrations that uphold our national heritage.
Only after 6 decades of the institutional development of the now popular game of cricket did Nepal get the opportunity to play in the World Cup. Although cricket was introduced in Nepal during the Rana regime, the sport was confined to a limited number of people, namely the elite. It all started with equipment brought by students returning from their studies in Britain and India. Although Cricket Association of Nepal (CAN) was established in 1947, cricket remained centered among a few affluent individuals and in limited tournaments for a long time. Starting with the Bishnu Trophy in 1948, tournaments were limited to competitions like the Madan Memorial Sealed, Jugal Kishore Trophy, Rammani Trophy, and later the Jaya Trophy. Even as the sport expanded outside Kathmandu Valley, it took decades for cricket to develop at the grassroots level. After the International Cricket Council (ICC) granted Nepal affiliate membership in 1988, Nepali cricket embarked on its international journey. The rule of mandatory participation in tournaments by the ICC and the Asian Cricket Council (ACC) opened doors to international competition for Nepal. After participating in the Under-19 Asian tournament in Hong Kong in 1996, Nepal has not looked back. Winning titles at the Asian and global levels, Nepali cricket team continues its journey towards the pinnacle of world cricket.
Goes down the ground because he was given that line outside off stump. So the first boundary of the contest, a handsome one.
Initially confined to Turikhel in Kathmandu, many international tournaments were hosted in Nepal after an international standard ground was built in Kirtipur. Nepal has also shown its proactiveness in differently abled cricket tournaments like the T20 World Cup for the blind in 2012 and the Asian Cricket Tournament for the deaf. Nepali women's national cricket team has also achieved remarkable success in a short period of time. The latest addition in Nepali cricket is the floodlit Tribhuvan University Cricket Stadium and the Nepal Premier League that has provided opportunity for Nepali players to rub shoulders with world-class players.
Rashtriya Swatantra Party Balan Shah agreement clarifies political scene. Election preparations gain momentum. Election environment strengthened as government and parties confirm readiness for March 5 parliamentary polls. Government tests reveal alarmingly high pesticide levels in vegetables sold across Kathmandu Valley. Nepal's construction market bracing for modern, affordable and resilient housing solutions as traditional construction faces new challenges. Myanmar begins first phase of 2025 general election amid civil war and tight security. And Nepal's 22nd NSJF Pulsar Sports Awards to be hosted in Pokhara with a global fan voting open. Good evening, I'm Bijata Bhandari and you're watching NTV World News Hour, coming to you live from Kathmandu at 2200 hours. Now the news in detail. Nepal's political picture is becoming clearer as the country prepares for the House of Representatives elections on March 5. Following the post-Gen Z government led by Prime Minister Sushila Karki, major parties are finalizing election strategies, easing earlier skepticism over the polls. The CPN-UML has elected a new committee under KP Sharma Oli, while the CPN Maoist Centre and CPN Socialist have unified to form the Nepali Communist Party. Nepali Congress has also announced its 15th General Convention schedule. Meanwhile, the Rashtriya Swatantra Party and Kathmandu Mayor Balinder Shah signed a 7-point agreement, setting leadership roles and signalling growing political maturity. Analysts say these developments are strengthening the electoral environment, offering voters a clearer choice. With old and new forces lining up responsibly, confidence is rising that the elections will proceed as scheduled, a critical step for Nepal's democratic continuity. Nepal's Minister for Communications and Information Technology Jagdish Kharil says the environment is set for the March 5th House of Representatives election. After a multi-party meeting, he cited government commitment, election commission preparations and political parties' readiness as key to ensuring the vote. Kharil urged support for the government's election plan and called on media to provide accurate, impartial and fact-based reporting to keep citizens informed.
हामीलाई खुशी लागेको छ कि आज राजनीतिक दलहरूले समानुपातिको लागि बन्द सूची बनाइरहेका छन्। 14 गते उनीहरूले बन्द सूची 14 गतेसम्म पेश गर्दैछन्। नयाँ राजनीतिक दलहरू अब गठबन्धन गर्दैछन्। विभिन्न साझेदारहरू खोजेर एकट्ठा हुँदैछन्। त्यो अर्को खुशीको कुरा हो।
Moving on, recent tests reveal alarming levels of toxic pesticides in vegetables across Nepal. Health experts warn that organophosphate, widely used by some farmers, poses serious long-term risk, including mental health problems and increased cancer risk. The Central Agricultural Laboratory found nearly 99.8% of tested mustard greens from Chandragiri and Ramkot contained harmful organophosphate residues. Lab officials say pesticide levels above 45% make vegetables unsafe for consumption and require disposal, while 35 to 45% need quarantine before eating. Green leafy vegetables, coriander, cauliflower, tomatoes, pumpkins and gourds showed the highest pesticide use, especially during off-season production. The lab continues monitoring 12 locations nationwide to protect public health and ensure safe vegetables reach Nepali kitchens. Nepal's housing sector is seeing a shift, with homeowners exploring modern, cost-effective and sustainable options. From small budget-friendly homes to innovative designs like dome houses and modular villas, urban residents are prioritizing durability, space optimization and environmental sustainability. Experts say rising land costs and changing lifestyles are driving demand for homes that are not only stylish but also resilient and energy efficient. Builders report growing interest in alternative construction materials and compact designs, making quality housing accessible to more families. This trend signals a move away from traditional models, offering new possibilities for affordable, durable, and visually appealing homes across the country. More on this in our cover story. Moving on, Myanmar has begun the first phase of its 2025 general election, with voting taking place today under tight security. The poll is scheduled in 3 stages, with later rounds planned for January 11 and January 25 next year. The vote comes amid an ongoing civil war, with major political parties dissolved and many opposition leaders jailed. Large parts of the country are not expected to participate. More than 200 people have been charged under a new election law for opposing the vote. There were reports of explosions and airstrikes in several regions during the polling. Junta leader Min Aung Hlaing said the election would be free and fair. Next week, Nepal's sporting spotlight returns as the 22nd NSJF Pulsar Sports Awards are set to take place in the tourism hub of Pokhara on the 7th of January. The ceremony, organized by the Nepal Sports Journalists Forum, was postponed earlier due to the Gen Z movement in September. This year, Yeti Airlines joins as the official sponsor, providing services to nominated athletes, coaches, and special guests. In addition, the People's Choice Award voting, which had been temporarily halted, is now open digitally, allowing fans worldwide to participate in selecting top performers. Nominees include rising stars like Usha Vijay Sinjali, Pooja Mahato, Himal Sunari, Rekha Podal, and Ivana Thapa across cricket, volleyball, football, and table tennis. Ahead of the awards, the NSJF Sports Summit on the 6th of January will bring together experts, athletes, and enthusiasts to discuss sports development, innovation, and international collaboration, highlighting Nepal's growing role on the global sporting stage. High pesticide levels in everyday vegetables are raising alarm across Kathmandu Valley. Tonight, we explore further into this in our issue of the day. Welcome back. You're watching NTV World News Hour. The vegetables that we consume every day has high pesticide residues, according to recent government tests. Laboratory tests have revealed alarmingly high levels of pesticide in vegetables sold across Kathmandu Valley, raising serious concerns about food safety and public health. Sabika Shrestha brings the details.
With green vegetables treated with pesticides reaching major markets, the question arises, are we unknowingly cooking pesticides in our kitchens? The Rapid Bioassay of Pesticide Residue RBPR Analysis Unit detected organophosphate and carbamide pesticides and 99.08% of a batch of broadleaf mustard supplied in Kathmandu. The supplies in Kalimati fruits and vegetable market were declared unfit for consumption. Similar findings in cauliflower, broccoli, chili, cucumber, pumpkin, long-yard beans, mustard, spinach, tomatoes, coriander, and gourd highlight that contamination is widespread. Officials explain farmers use more pesticides in off-season vegetables than seasonal crops.
आरभीआर प्रयोगशालाबाट हामीले हरेक दिन बिहान 5 बजे बजारबाट रेन्डमली स्याम्पल लिएर त्यसको परीक्षण गर्ने गरेका छौं 35% सम्म इनिभेसन पर्सेन्टेज आयो भने त्यसलाई खाने योग्य र यदि 45% सम्म आयो भने त्यो चाहिँ क्वारेन्टाइन राख्ने र त्यसलाई केही दिन पर्खेर पुनः परीक्षण गरेर त्यसमा विषादी कस्तो देखिन्छ त्यसो खान सकिन्छ भने यदि 45% भन्दा बढी आयो भने त्यसले चाहिँ हाम्रो शरीरलाई हानि गर्ने हुनाले त्यसलाई हामीले डिस्पोज गरेका छौं त्यसो विषादी लगभग धेरै तरकारीमा प्रयोग हुन्छ रोकेर लाग्छ अनि रोकेर लागेपछि विषादी हाल्नु पर्छ र किसानले प्रयोग गर्ने ट्रेन्ड पनि छ र त्यसलाई अब हामीले विषादी हाल्दा कस्तो छ भने अफ सिजन तरकारीमा बढी विषादी रोकेर लाग्ने हुनाले त्यो अनुसार बढी मात्रामा विषादी प्रयोग गरेको देखिन्छ
Farmers increasingly rely on cocktail pesticides, combinations of chemicals to protect plants, but these particles are making vegetables more toxic. The pre-harvest waiting period, which allows harmful residues to reduce before consumption, is often ignored as farmers prioritize economic gains and past turnover. Public health experts warn that regular consumption of pesticide-laden vegetables is linked to neurological, respiratory, hormonal disorders and rising cancer cases, especially among children and women. Cooking does not remove these harmful residues completely, leaving families at risk.
Pesticides are chemicals used to protect crops, but they can also harm human health. Short-term exposure may cause headache, vomiting, skin irritation, excess salivation, sweating, abdominal cramps, and breathing. While long-term exposure is more dangerous, it can damage the brain and the nerves, it disrupts hormones, reduces fertility, and increases the risk of cancer. Children and pregnant women are especially vulnerable as pesticides can affect growth and brain development. People are exposed through contaminated food, water, air, and direct skin contact, especially farmers. So safe use, protective equipment, proper washing of fruits and vegetables, and also strict regulation is essential to protect public health.
The repeated findings make one thing clear. Contaminated vegetables are entering our kitchens daily. Being cautious about what we cook and how we prepare it is no longer optional. It is essential for the health of our families. As pesticide tests are ongoing nationwide, it's also very important for all of us to be cautious because it's our health. Let's choose seasonal vegetables, wash them and cook them properly before eating to cut off the harmful residues in it. Sabika Shrestha with camera person Dhruva Thapa reporting for NTV World.
Across Nepal, chemical pesticides dominate vegetable production, posing serious health and environmental risk. But in Changunarayan municipality in Bhaktapur, farmers are taking a different path, turning to organic, pesticide-free farming. Using cow and buffalo manure, liquid organic fertilizers, and traditional methods, they are growing vegetables like cauliflower, cabbage, tomatoes, radish, and leafy greens, all sold in local markets where demand is steadily rising. Medical experts warn that pesticide-laden vegetables increase the risk of cancer, kidney, and liver diseases. In response, local authorities are supporting farmers with training, seeds, and technical guidance, while cooperatives like Champapur help expand organic cultivation. The Central Agricultural Lab notes that these efforts not only protect public health, but also safeguard soil and the environment. Changunarayan's farmers are now inspiring others across the country to embrace sustainable farming. Nepal's housing landscape is quietly transforming. Tonight we explore how technology and products is shaping the dream home ownership in our cover story tonight. Welcome back. You're watching NTV World News Hour. Nepal's construction sector is witnessing a quiet but significant transformation. In Kathmandu, modern and cost-effective housing solutions are gaining traction, blending local materials with innovative designs. From domed houses to prefab and metal-structured homes, consumers are increasingly seeking durable, efficient, and stylish options. Industry experts say this shift reflects growing demand for quality housing that suits limited urban space while promoting sustainability. They note that such trends not only redefine home ownership in Nepal, but also position local builders as competitive players in a rapidly evolving global construction market. In the heart of Kathmandu, the dream of home ownership is taking center stage. The Ghar Nirman Fest 2025 at Bhrikuti Mandap has opened its doors, connecting 40,000 aspiring homeowners with Nepal's top 200 construction experts. With the theme, "What we do it here in Nepal," the expo showcases local materials, engineering talent, and indigenous skills, redefining the Nepali house as more than just a shelter, but as a symbol of innovation, identity, and hope. Subeksha Rajak takes a closer look.
What makes a home? Structure, amenities, or the warmth of the family? A home is the dream of every individual, where he or she can be with the family in a cozy environment. In Nepal, a house is more than shelter. It is the lifelong dream and asset that anchors family, heritage, and hope.
We are here to see different alternative housing options. Hope you find your dream home here today.
An expo showcasing latest technologies and development in construction industry is on full swing in Kathmandu's Bhrikuti Mandap. The expo offers cheaper, safer, innovative and modern home solutions to the urbanities for whom the concept of home is yet to change from the heavy concrete structures. Take the example of SY panel, which is much more cost-effective and light, as well as ready-made solution to constructing a house against the traditional method, which on average takes a year.
Fire resistance, water resistance, as well as earthquake resistance also. That's why people are choosing here in Nepal, and alternative options for Nepalese people are one of the best one. This SY panel is.
The dome house structure is also attracting many visitors in the expo who are more curious than interested in adopting the technology.
Because of polycarbon, you don't have to worry for the UV ray, because that also have protection, and its durability is very, very strong. So we're giving at least 10 years for this dome house, so people don't have to worry. And plus, this is very safe for the children, for the animal, for the old people.
Construction engineers say the latest technology is far more cheaper for urban lifestyle.
यो चाहिँ हाम्रो 6 लाखमा बनेको घर हो पछाडी देख्नु भएको चाहिँ जुनमा चाहिँ हामीले 4 इन्चको स्क्वायर पाइपद्वारा हजुरको निर्माण गरेको छौं जुनमा चाहिँ तपाईको यूपीवीसी को रूफिङ राखेर अनि त्यसपछि तपाईको सिमेन्ट बोर्डको पार्टिसनद्वारा बनेको यो घर हो.
Structures made of prefabricated materials are equally reliable, while they come much cheaper and the lifespan is at par with RCC construction.
प्रिफ्याब को घर तपाईले बनाउन खोज्नु भयो भने 1 महिना 10 दिनदेखि 1 महिनामा मजाले नै सेट हुन्छ हैन. खर्चको कुरा गर्दा फेरि लगभग 30-40% कम हुन्छ आरसीसी को भन्दा. र प्रिफ्याबमा चाहिँ अहिले हाम्रो नेपालमा एसआई प्यानल, इको प्यानलहरु अनि हजुरको ब्लकहरु र इन्टरलक ब्रिकहरु यस्तो धेरै कुराहरु आइसकेका छ अल्टरनेटिभ हाउसिङको रूपमा, र हामीले ती कुराहरुलाई युज गर्न सक्छौं. र आरसीसी मा त हामीले त्यही नै हो ट्रेडिसनली गरिराको ढलान गर्छौं.
The expo showcasing new technology in construction sector is a call and reminder to all Kathmanduis the need of adopting cheaper and convenient houses, most importantly, safer homes.
After this tour of alternative housing systems here in Nepal that's shown to you, you might be sure about your dream house. This is Subeksha Rajak with camera person Rasila Shrestha reporting for NTV World.
We asked visitors at the expo about their dream homes. Here's what Nepalis envision when it comes to their dream home in our public polls tonight.
in a huge scale, about 32 ana, and then the total area of my house would be on 16 ana, and then rather than going with the cost, I will go with the quality and then durability. So that would be my dream house.
सस्तो भरपर्दो बलियो त्यही खोजिरहेको छु म
Where my family can accommodate safely, we will be happy. त्यही भयो मेरो ड्रिम हो
3 आना 4 आना चाहिँ कम्पाउन्ड घेरेको घर होस् हैन बंगला टाइप होस्
In in movie there is more space between home and surrounding their garland compound. That is my dream home, and there is string also, and there is goddess temple in the floor of on top.
ठुलो घर बनाउनलाई चाहिँ 5 तला 6 तलाको है एकदम लिफ्ट राखेर बनाउनु पाए एकदम चाहिँ खुसी हुन्छ आनन्द हुन्छ
My dream home is like one garden, big garden, and one living room, and one dining room, and one kitchen, and one attached bathroom, and like one floor house, but looks like a cute home like me.
घर सबै कुरो मिलेको थोरै ठाउँमा धेरै प्रयोग गरिन सकिने त्यसका आधारहरू सुरक्षाको दृष्टिकोणले पनि बडो भूकम्प अथवा विभिन्न हुन्छन् अप्ठ्यारा जुन तिनीहरूबाट पनि सजिलैसँग बच्न सक्ने थोरै पैसामा टिकाउ धेरै रहने फेरि त्यस्ता चीजहरूको र पाएसम्म कच्चा पदार्थ अन्य देशबाट निर्यातित होइन यी आफ्नै स्वदेशमा बनिएका चीजहरू
The home where I am safe to live in with my families. त्यति नै हो ड्रिम होम चाहिँ मेरो लागि
Next, we dive deeper into making these dream homes a reality. We now connect to engineer Anshu Kumar Pal, a structural engineer specializing in Nepal's housing sector, about structures suited to Nepal's terrain. Mr. Pal, welcome to NTV World News Hour.
Thank you, Vijita, for having me. It's my pleasure to be here.
So why is it that for majority of the Nepalis, including the builders, housing still means concrete over brick, over the alternative materials that we could use?
There are several reasons for that. The major reasons is because of our Pakka house mentality, which we consider, when we consider of house, we consider of RCC structures, steel structures, which gives us a robust kind of feeling, that kind of mentality. And another reason is that readily available building codes, trained masons, engineers who are rigorously trained in the trend of constructing, designing RCC and steel structures. And
so,
another,
are there any safety risks in using alternative materials, especially for a terrain like ours, which is known to be very seismically active?
Yeah, in the countries, region like Nepal, which is seismically active, and where the tectonic plate movements is frequently happening. So in this region, safety becomes the major point, major concern about, during the structural design of the buildings. So in the terrain like Nepal, for the alternative materials, we have to design in such a way that those alternative materials last long and which also dissipate the energy, lateral force.
Are there long-term maintenance challenges with alternative construction methods?
Yes, we do have a few challenges, but which can be manageable. As for brick structures, RCC structures, we also, if we don't design and detail the construction as per the prescribed code, it will fall. And we have plenty of examples in Gorkha 2015 earthquake. So brick buildings have been fallen, the RCC structures has been fallen, but we have evidence that the structures which have been made by mud, made by bamboos, made by alternative materials, which has lasted century. So if we design properly, the building may last longer. So it's all about the right thing, right material, and right techniques.
So could the alternative materials help reduce Nepal's reliance on imported construction materials?
Yeah, as we see in the construction industry, more than 90% of construction materials has been imported from neighboring countries, even from Europe, America. So if we develop the alternate materials locally, it will create green jobs in Nepal, and the money will be circulating within our economy. It will not go outside of our country. So it will help to boost our economy. At the same time, it will also increase the number of jobs, job seekers. It will create a market ecosystem, a sustainable ecosystem. It will be directly, implying to our economy.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Mr. Paul, and for your invaluable insights. That was engineer Anshu Kumar Pal helping us get a better understanding of the alternative housing scene in Nepal. Now on to the rest of the news. Nepal's political landscape is shifting dramatically. Today, the Rashtriya Swatantra Party and Kathmandu Mayor Balendra Shah signed a historic 7-point agreement, setting the stage for a new wave in the political sphere. Experts say these developments are strengthening the electoral environment, offering voters a clearer choice. A report.
Nepal woke up to a major political shake-up today. The Rashtriya Swatantra Party and Kathmandu Mayor Balendra Shah have reached a historic 7-point agreement formalized Sunday morning. The deal signed by Shah and RSP chair Lamichhane commits both sides to support youth-led movements against corruption, improve governance, and address families affected during recent protests. Under the agreement, Lamichhane remains party chair, while Shah will serve as parliamentary leader and the party's prime ministerial candidate in the next election. The agreement also ensures the party's name, election symbol, and central office remain with RSP, while promoting greater youth participation in leadership. Meanwhile, the Ujalo Nepal Party has reaffirmed its independence, rejecting any merger even as discussions with RSP and Mayor Shah continue. Party leaders emphasize collaboration with progressive forces while protecting their identity. In parallel, top leaders of the Nepali Congress, CPN-UML, and Nepal Communist Party have confirmed their commitment to the upcoming March 5 House of Representatives elections.
तर चुनावमा जानको लागि सरकारले वातावरण बनाओस् भनेर भन्नुभयो र त्यो कुराहरुमा चाहिँ उहाँलाई जोड गर्नको लागि नेपाली कांग्रेसका सभापति शेरबहादुर देउवाले पनि अब पुनर्स्थापना होइन संसद पुनर्स्थापना होइन चुनावमै जानुपर्छ भनेर उहाँले स्पष्ट भन्नुभएको छ। त्यस्तै गरेर नेपाली कम्युनिस्ट पार्टीका संयोजक पुष्पकमल दाहाल प्रचण्डले नि चुनावमै जानुपर्छ भन्नुभयो। त्यो जवाफमा सम्माननीय प्रधानमन्त्री सुशीला कार्कीज्यूले चुनावमा जाने वातावरण सुरक्षाको प्रत्याभूति सबै खालका वातावरण सरकारले बनाउँछ भनेर स्पष्ट रूपमा भन्नुभएको छ। यसले के देखाउँछ भने अब जुन रूपमा दुविधा रहेको थियो चुनावमा जाने कुरामा चुनाव हुन्छ कि हुँदैन भन्ने कुराहरुको पनि अब स्पष्ट जवाफ आयो। चुनाव हुन्छ। चुनावमा राजनीतिक दलहरुले भाग लिन्छन् कि लिँदैनन् भन्ने कुराहरुमा पनि जवाफ आयो। अब सबै राजनीतिक दलहरु चुनावको लागि तयार छन्।
Prime Minister Sushila Karki and President Ramchandra Paudel have facilitated high-level consultations, ensuring stability and a credible election environment. Analysts say these developments highlight a growing polarization in Nepali politics. Established parties face internal challenges, while new leaders like Lamichhane and Shah appeal to voters seeking alternatives. The March 5 elections will test whether voters favor traditional structures or emerging reformist forces, shaping Nepal's democratic future.
Nepal's Election Commission says preparations are complete for political parties to submit closed lists for the proportional representation segment of the 2082 House of Representatives election. According to the Commission's schedule, parties must submit the list today and tomorrow. Submitted lists will be reviewed from the 15th to the 20th of this month. Following the review, parties will have a window from the 21st to the 27th to make any necessary adjustments. The final verification of revised lists will take place between the 28th of this month and the 3rd of the next. The Election Commission plans to publish the provisional closed list on the 4th, with the final list released on the 20th. More than 100 political parties are registered to contest for the proportional representation vote, using a total of 93 election symbols. Moving on, a new glacier lake discovered at an altitude of 5,200 meters above the sea level in Manang in northern Nepal is undergoing scientific study as authorities explore its tourism potential. Kajinsara Lake, assumed to be higher altitude than Tilichur Lake, could become one among the world's highest glacial lakes, once researchers establish it geographically. Rojina Rai with our local correspondent Naveen Kumar Lamichhane brings the news.
Kajinsara Lake in Manang, northern Nepal, could be the world's highest glacier lake once the geographical survey and research complete. Also known as Singer Lake, it has been recently located at the altitude of 5,200 meters above the sea level. Chairperson of the Chame Rural Municipality, Lokendra Bahadur Khale, says the lake has been named in Nepali language a Singer Lake, and they have already discussed about this lake with the Director General of the Survey Department of Nepal, and the record about the lake is not even mentioned in the data of the department. The glacier lake is awaiting precise scientific measurement and wider recognition. Nestled in the lap of the towering Himalayan peaks, including Manaslu and Annapurna, the lake is a heavenly place due to its striking blue waters. As per report, local herders in the Singer Kharka area had long known of its existence and only gained official attention a few years before Nepal Tourism Year 2019. Its discovery adds to the list of the world's highest glacier lakes, including Tilichur in the same district, and present significant potential for ecotourism development of the country. While the Chame Rural Municipality in the district is preparing for a second phase of technical and scientific surveys during the upcoming favorable season, the planned study will encompass satellite-based geographical measurements, hydrological testing, environmental risk assessments, and the joint participation of relevant government agencies. As per official consent, scientific verification of the lake's elevation, surface area, and depth has yet to be completed. Current development initiatives focus on sustainable trekking routes and environmentally conscious infrastructures. Preliminary findings suggest that the lake was formed from glacial water originating from high altitude, though its exact depth remains unmeasured. Experts say the existence of previously unidentified high altitude glacial lakes driven by geographical uplift, glacier movement, and gradual changes in water sources is a natural phenomena in Himalayan region of Nepal.
Nepal's hot spring lakes in northern Thading are attracting both domestic and international tourists, thanks to their natural warm waters and the belief that bathing here can cure skin ailments. Local governments in Kanyawash and Ruvi Valley rural municipalities have improved access by building pools, stone trails and streams at sites like Ankukola, Kisanara. Since the upgrades, around 25 to 30 people visit daily, performing traditional rituals before bathing, as the springs hold religious significance for the Tamang community. Authorities, including Ran Bahadur Tamang, chairperson of Kanyawas, says that the development will boost tourism in the area, which hosts about a dozen hot water springs, though many remain largely unknown due to limited promotion and infrastructure. The 13th annual food festival is set to take place in Bhedetar, Sagurigari Rural Municipality in Dhankuta. Organizers from the Bhedetar Hotel Association announced the event will run from January 16 to 18, marking the celebration of the English New Year 2026. The festival will feature a range of ethnic and organic foods, as well as stalls showcasing grains, cash crops, fruits, vegetables, potatoes, and other local agricultural products. The organizers say the event aims to attract domestic and international tourists while promoting local tourism. Visitors will also have the opportunity to explore nearby religious and cultural sites, including Skywalk, Pathipara Devi Temple, Sankheshwar Temple, Thakal Dada, and various local parks and homestays. Pedita traditionally draws tourists from Tarai districts and neighboring India. Organizers hope to attract 50,000 to 60,000 visitors, with projected business transactions reaching around 25 million rupees. International news coming up next. For now, a quick look at the headlines once again. Rashtriya Swatantra Party Balin Shah agreement clarifies political scene. Election preparations gain momentum. Election environment strengthened as government and parties confirm readiness for March 5 parliamentary polls. Government tests reveal alarmingly high pesticide levels in vegetables sold across Kathmandu Valley. Nepal's construction market bracing for modern, affordable and resilient housing solutions as traditional construction faces new challenges. Myanmar begins first phase of 2025 general election amid civil war and tight security. And Nepal's 22nd NSJF Poster Sports Awards to be hosted in Pokhara with global fan voting open. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is due to meet U.S. President Donald Trump in Florida later today, as diplomatic efforts to end the war with Russia continue. The talks are expected to focus on a revised U.S.-brokered peace proposal and possible American security guarantees for Ukraine. The meeting follows heavy Russian attacks on Kyiv over the weekend. Zelensky has said a free economic zone in eastern Ukraine could be considered as part of negotiations. Russia currently controls large parts of the Donetsk and Luhansk regions. President Vladimir Putin has said Russia will pursue its goals by military means if talks fail. Israel's decision to formally recognize Somaliland as an independent state has drawn condemnation from regional and international organizations. The Arab League, African Union, Gulf Cooperation Council, and the Organization of Islamic Cooperation all criticized the move. Somaliland declared independence from Somalia in 1991, but has not been widely recognized internationally. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu signed the recognition, making Israel the first country to do so. Somalia described the move as an attack on its sovereignty and warned it could destabilize the region. Nearly a month after Cyclone Ditwa struck Sri Lanka, more than 1 million people remain in need of humanitarian assistance, according to the United Nations. The storm hit the island's eastern coast in late November, triggering widespread floods and landslides across all districts. Renewed heavy rainfall has caused further flooding, particularly in central areas. UN agencies say more than 1.2 million people require aid, including over 500,000 children. They warn that without sustained funding, recovery will be slow, especially for families and schools affected by the disaster. Russian state animation studio Soyuz Multfilm has released images from a New Year's special episode of the cartoon series Prostokvashin, featuring a character modeled on President Vladimir Putin. In the episode, animated characters discuss whether the president's annual address is broadcast live. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov defended the appearance, saying Putin is part of everyday life in Russia. Prostokvashino is a modern remake of a popular Soviet-era cartoon, updated with contemporary references. Business news is lined up after this short break. Do stay tuned.
Dozens of Chinese electric vehicle EV makers face a do-or-die moment in 2026, according to analysts, amid weakening domestic demand that is expected to see perennial loss-making firms exit the world's largest car market. About 50 unprofitable mainland Chinese EV makers are under pressure to scale down their business or wind down operations as the country's automotive sector is projected to report a sales drop next year, the first such contraction since 2020, owing to the industry's overcapacity woes and softening government support. Grappling with expiring cash subsidies and tax incentives, the domestic car market is forecast to see deliveries slump next year, even if assemblers offer steep discounts to lure buyers, according to the consensus forecast among auto analysts. Beijing is expected to announce whether the $2,845 trade-in subsidy would be renewed in January. EV buyers are currently exempt from a 10% purchase tax. These purchases will incur a 5% tax from January until the regular 10% tax rate returns in 2028. Amazon said on Sunday it has decided not to pursue plans to deliver goods by drone in Italy, saying that while it had made good progress with aerospace regulators, broader business regulatory issues did not support the project. The Italian Civil Aviation ENAC called the decision unexpected, saying in a statement on Saturday the move was motivated by company policy linked to recent financial events involving the group. The company had announced in December 2024 the successful completion of initial tests of delivery drones in San Salvo, a town in the central Abruzzo region. Vietnam recorded a historic high in foreign direct investment in 2025, with realized inflows exceeding $23.6 billion, surpassing all projections. Authorities say the quality of investment is also improving, with capital shifting from labor-intensive industries to sectors such as semiconductors, artificial intelligence, and green energy. Administrative reforms and major infrastructure upgrades have boosted investor confidence across the country. New free trade zones launched in Haiphong and Da Nang are offering strong tax incentives and simplified procedures, helping position Vietnam as a regional logistics and technology hub. The government has also approved plans for international financial centers in Ho Chi Minh City and Da Nang. Together, these moves signal Vietnam's shift towards attracting sustainable long-term investment in the global digital economy. India has inaugurated the Scient AI and Future Skills Hub, a new initiative aimed at equipping rural youth with future-ready digital skills. The center will train around 300 young people each year through hands-on learning focused on artificial intelligence, digital technologies, and innovation-driven industries. Housed within the upgraded digital Bhavan, the hub features AI-enabled systems, smart classrooms, and advanced computing facilities. A robust learning management platform has also been introduced to support modern, technology-driven education. Officials say the program is designed to boost employability and encourage entrepreneurship among rural communities. The initiative is part of a broader government effort to bridge India's urban-rural digital divide and promote sustainable economic growth.
Time now for Sports Update. A special karate training program has started in the capital. aimed at preparing talented and promising players for the national team in the future. Over 800 junior athletes are participating in the program, which is led by Nepal's national karate team coaches, along with senior national and international players. Coach Kushal Shrestha, head of the national team, says the training is organized to enhance players' skills and boost their confidence, helping to groom future stars for the national team. Most participants are school-level students, and star karate player Erika Gurung says she is happy to share her experience and skills with them. The training is conducted every Saturday by Chief Coach Kushal Shrestha, Coach Mandekaji Shrestha, and international players Erika Gurung, Sanumaya Thing, Swanima Manandhar, Muhammad Sekhu Alam, and Santosh Shrestha. Now the weather updates, first from across Nepal and then around the world. Before we wrap up, let's take a look into the headlines once again. Rashtriya Swatantra Party Balin Shah agreement clarifies political scene. Election preparations gain momentum. Election environment strengthened as government and parties confirm readiness for March 5 parliamentary polls. Government tests reveal alarmingly high pesticide levels in vegetables sold across Kathmandu Valley. Nepal's construction market bracing for modern, affordable and resilient housing solutions as traditional construction faces new challenges. Myanmar begins first phase of 2025 general election amid civil war and tight security. And Nepal's 22nd NSJF Pulsar Sports Awards to be hosted in Pokhara with global fan voting open. Well, that is all for now here at NTV World News Hour. Do join us through our social media and our official website at nepaltelevision.com. This is Vijata Bhandari. Thank you for joining us. Good night.